Let me tell you about the exact moment I realized my wife was way more than she ever let on and how an HOA Karen torched her own little empire because she just couldn't help herself. Yeah, you might think you've heard crazy neighbor stories, but buckle up. Because this one ends with my jaw on the floor, my wife getting saluted by a cop in our own driveway, and the whole street learning a lesson about picking your battles. Here's how it all went down. I was standing in my garage that Tuesday trying to swap out a porch light when I heard my wife's car rumble up. She'd just finished at the gym, hair in a ponytail, looking like she was ready to melt into the couch. But this time, she parked at a weird angle, maybe 10, 12 degrees off straight, which only matters if you're the type who'd measure such a thing. Enter Melinda Griggs. If you could bottle righteous HOA energy and spray it around, that was Melinda, standing at our front door in a red blazer with a clipboard lipstick perfectly drawn, banging on the door like she was there to foreclose on our house. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Monroe," she announces. "Yes, full name, not Tessa, not. Hi there. Your vehicle positioning is violating the aesthetic standards of our community." She sounded like she was reading a court order out loud, holding her clipboard up like a riot shield in case we tried to argue. My wife, still in yoga pants, stares back cool as a cucumber and says, "Could you please specify the violation? Not angry, not defensive, just like she was interviewing a witness." And Melinda, God bless her, she squats down and starts measuring the car's angle with a digital device, muttering to herself, making a little note like she's logging a crime scene. 12 degrees off, she declares more than the permitted deviation, and then hands my wife an official violation. I'm watching all this from the porch, like, is this really my life? Who actually checks the angle of a neighbor's parked car? But then something else grabs my attention. Tessa reads that violation like she's reviewing a legal brief, then asks, "Which county filing does this HOA registration correspond to?" That's when I noticed Melinda's confident smile twitch just a flicker, like she suddenly realized she was out of her depth. Melinda tries to recover. "Oh, we operate by community consensus. We don't need all that bureaucratic approval." But Tessa's not letting up. She's asking questions you only ask if you know how the game is played, and for a moment Melinda's armor starts to crack. Tessa thanks her, then waits until Melinda struts off, probably feeling victorious. But as soon as Melinda's back is turned, Tessa whips out her phone, takes a photo of Melinda's license plate, and starts making notes like she's building a case. Not just collecting gossip. I ask, "What are you doing?" And she says, "Just collecting information." The way she said it made me realize maybe I didn't know everything about my wife. A couple days pass and Melinda's doing her grocery shopping when she spots Tessa outside the post office, chatting with not one but two uniformed police officers. They're actually taking notes while Tessa talks. Melinda, trying to hide behind a display of lettuce, starts spiraling. Who is this woman? Why does she know the cops? She's supposed to be a marketing freelancer, right? So now Melinda is determined. She comes back for round two, clipboard, even fatter documents stacked high like she's about to shut down a factory. "Mrs. Monroe, I need you to sign this compliance commitment for the community record," she says. The document looks official, but Tessa reads it with that same lawyerly cool, then glances up, eyebrows slightly raised. This document isn't legally binding unless your HOA is registered with the state. Do you have registration documentation? Now, Melinda's starting to sweat. She tries, "We operate under community agreement," but her voice wobbles. Tessa pushes again. "Where are the signed covenants?" It's like watching a chess master pick apart an amateur move by move. Melinda finally snaps. "You're being deliberately difficult, undermining standards." Tessa doesn't even flinch, keeps watering her plants like this is just another item on her to-do list. The more Melinda yells, the calmer Tessa gets. And from my window I realize my wife is enjoying this. She's not just winning, she's teaching Melinda a lesson. That night I spot Melinda through her window, pounding away at her keyboard with the focus of someone Googling how to win a legal argument you've already lost. And then later I overhear her making a call. "I need you to check someone's background for me. She's not who she says she is. Melinda's convinced she stumbled onto some kind of suburban conspiracy. 3 days later, Melinda calls the cops. I need police assistance. My neighbor is refusing to comply and making legal threats. She sounds confident, but she's stepping right into her own trap. When Officer Jake Stevens shows up, a young, earnest guy, you can tell he expects this to be some nonsense parking dispute. He walks up, sees Tessa, and his whole vibe changes. Stands up straighter, his voice goes formal. Good afternoon, ma'am. And then, weirdest of all, I catch this quick, subtle nod like he knows her from somewhere. Melinda explodes, ranting about community disruption and criminal violations. Officer Stevens tries to explain, ma'am, HOA rules aren't usually police business. But Melinda keeps pushing, demanding his supervisor, shouting about law and order. Meanwhile, Tessa stands up, brushing off her hands, and says, there's no need to escalate this. Officer Stevens looks almost relieved, like he's taking orders from her, not Melinda. And then right there in front of us, Officer Stevens salutes my wife. I'm not kidding. He stands at attention, gives her a crisp, respectful salute, then leaves. My brain short circuits. Who did I marry? I ask her straight up. Honey, why did that cop salute you? She gives me a look, a mix of apology and something else, and says, there's something about my job I haven't been honest about. Before she can spill, Melinda charges back across the street, this time waving a thick stack of printed-off legal forms. If you won't comply, I'm suing. I have legal counsel. Her voice is all shaky bravado, but Tessa, for the first time, drops her calm. Her tone goes flat steel. Underneath, ma'am, I strongly suggest you reconsider this approach. It's not a threat. It's a warning. Melinda, too far gone, doubles down. She's calling the cops again, this time demanding they arrest Tessa for criminal violations. Tessa just raises an eyebrow. Arrested. That's right. Melinda practically shrieks. You could feel the neighborhood itself holding its breath. Let's call them together, Tessa says. There's this little smile, sharp as a blade. She's been waiting for this. They both dial Melinda, demanding police. Tessa quietly speaking into her phone. Dispatch, this is Chief Monroe. I'm at home requesting a unit for a community relations matter. Chief, my wife. My whole world tilts. When the squad car pulls up, Officer Stevens hops out, all business. Chief Monroe got your call. What's the situation? Melinda looks like she's been slapped by a ghost. Chief. She's just a housewife. Neighbors are peeking out of their windows now, whispering, catching every word. And Tessa turns to me, smiling that secret, tired smile, and says, Honey, meet Chief Monroe. Your wife of 3 years. Sorry, I forgot to mention my day job. Melinda's still fighting. I don't care. She violated HOA regulations. Arrest her. Now even the neighbors start laughing. Tessa turns to Officer Stevens. Calm as anything. Officer, can you run the registration on that BMW across the street? Stevens returns with a list of Melinda's own violations: expired registration, unpaid tickets, speeding in a school zone. The crowd goes quiet, then turns on Melinda, parents glaring, hands on hips. Tessa takes over, asking neighbors to share their stories. Turns out Melinda's been running her own little racket, handing out bogus fines for flowers. 2 bright dogs walked at quiet hours, kids playing outside. $2, $700 collected in 6 months. Tessa explains, that's criminal fraud under state law. Melinda's resistance finally shatters. I'll return the money, she whispers, and just like that, the reign of the clipboard queen is over. Within a week, Melinda's house has a for sale sign out front, and checks go out to everyone she scammed. Our street transforms. Kids play soccer again, neighbors stop to talk, laughter bounces off every fence. The fake HOA is dead. We start the Evergreen Oaks Neighbors Association, no fines, just potlucks and block parties. And Tessa turns out being married to a police chief is pretty great, except for the surprise factor. Any more secrets, I tease her, and she grins. Well, I did arrest the mayor's nephew last week. I shake my head, smiling. I guess you never really know your own spouse until a Karen tries to have them arrested for crooked parking. Here's what I learned sometimes. The worst thing you can do to a bully is let them expose themselves. Melinda didn't lose because someone plotted against her. She lost because she never bothered to check who she was dealing with. And if you ever find yourself battling your own HOA nightmare, maybe you'll remember our story. Sometimes justice parks itself right in your own driveway. So let's hear it. Was Melinda right to defend her clipboard kingdom? Or did karma finally clock in? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your wildest neighbor war stories, and if you ever spot a laser measuring device on your driveway, you know who to call.